The very first card that you got is to remember who you are. Remember who you are. This is from Archangel Michael, and he says, you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God, and that you are very loved. Your reading is very much about love. Remembering who you are, a powerful, loving, creative child of God. In remembering who you are, you're being asked and invited to open your heart a little bit more. To open your heart a little bit more. This one is coming up. They want you to notice that this is Jesus, the ultimate master of love, and also noticing that he's with animals versus a romantic kind of love relationship. This is love of life, love of self, love of innocence, love of just general love of everything. That's what they're wanting you to remember. And it looks like for some of you there may be right now, but there also could have been from the past, it looks like. Situations that you've been through where parts of your heart have been shut down to protect yourself from the pain, the emotional pain of certain situations that maybe you went through. So healing is being called for in these areas where your heart was shut down to protect yourself. I remember this myself personally, just from a lot of childhood challenges and then relationship challenges, and it made sense to me. It made sense to me to just, okay, well, if I just don't feel, I remember making the decision to not feel, and then I wouldn't have to feel this pain. The problem is that when you choose that avenue to protect yourself, it also is so detrimental, because now you can't feel the loving feelings either, and that's who you are. And so when you choose to shut down your heart, to close off, to protect yourself, you are closing off from yourself. That's a problem. I learned that too. It doesn't work. It doesn't really work. And I remember when I realized this doesn't work, because now I'm not feeling love either, and that's not going to work. And so for me, I put on, it was Christmas time, which we've just had Christmas time, and I put on several movies one after the next that were just really inspirational, that made me cry, that I knew would make me cry, which would open my heart back up. And I stood there and I said, I love because I love because I love. I love because that's who I am, kind of thing. They're inviting you to do the same. So parts of your heart have been shut down because of traumatic situations. And they're asking you to open your heart back up to love. So if you're, okay, so now they're saying, by opening your heart back up, there's going to be part of you that's going to go, no way, because then I'm just going to feel all pain. They're asking you to be brave. They're asking you to be brave. These two cards are coming together now with a kind of interesting meaning, where yes, you will be addressing the traumas potentially that were painful, and so you might feel that. They're asking you to be brave at the risk of feeling those painful feelings. But he's also saying, what he's saying is, open your heart to love. He's not saying open your heart to pain. He's saying open your heart for the love that a closed heart won't allow in. So let that be your driving motivation to open your heart to the love. Let that be the motivator to open your heart back up. There will be some healing that wants to happen, and they're inviting you to be brave. There will be some pain that comes up, but it's worth it, because then you're open to the love, and the pain will be temporary, because this is something that happened in the past. So it's just about looking at those painful situations to, having the courage to look at those, potentially experience that pain again so that you can release it. That's not where you need to then live, right? So maybe as a child, you were in a situation that was painful, and as a child, you felt stuck. You couldn't get out. This was your situation, and you weren't old enough to process. You weren't old enough to leave. And so you were just in it. So the way to protect yourself was to just close your heart down, because you couldn't physically leave that situation. It feels like for many of you, if this resonates with you, you are now in a situation where you don't have to be in that situation anymore. In that situation, you're probably not there anymore. And any current situation that feels like that, or that might feel like that, you don't have to stay there. By opening your heart to love, the motivation of allowing love in will enable you to do this healing, to process through this healing, and get out the other side. That's where you want to go. The world is changing. The world is shifting. All of this is getting called for, because you are very, very powerful, and the world needs you to be healed, and allowing that love into your heart is just going to change your life. It changes your life. So in order to open up your heart to love, they're inviting you to get out into nature, get outside, retreat into nature. This retreat card, notice, they're holding the heart space, they're holding the heart. Getting out into nature, getting outside, fresh air, creativity, just appreciating nature is a really good start to opening your heart to love. Now notice that this part of the reading is about opening to love. Nature, love is everywhere in nature. Spirit is everywhere in nature. All the little fairies are flying around with their little wands, right? Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the archangels, the galactic beings, they're all out in nature. So get yourself out in nature to open your heart to love. And they're inviting you to do that first. Do this first. By doing this first and doing it, like not just watching this video and going, okay, yeah, that's intellectual healing. The actual healing happens when you actually take steps to do it. So, get out into nature and allow this love in. Love of the animals, love of nature, love of the sunshine, the trees, the flowers, the smells, the sounds, the majesty. They're using the word majesty, the mystical, the magic of nature. How flowers bloom, how those trees have been around forever and they're not affected by this, right? The trees, the wisdom in the trees, the wisdom in the trees. So start to open your heart to love by getting out in nature, and they want you to do that first. Okay, so let's imagine now that you've done that. And now you're feeling all like, okay, maybe some little crackles happened, maybe a little bit of mystical kind of healing has happened in your heart. It's filled up with nature and love of nature. That will give you more courage to go, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to tackle this healing. I'm ready to deal with this, healing. This Saint Padre, yeah, Saint Padre Pio is inviting you to say your prayers, right? Have the courage and say your prayers. Say, Spirit, please help me with this. Be with me. Show me that you're with me. Show me so that I can't miss it, that you're with me. And please give me the courage to sort of go within and ask these questions that they're about to give you. Ask these questions and allow the answers to come up. Okay, so they have two questions for you from the Work Your Light deck, getting to the core of things. Two questions, and these are coming out right underneath this healing and having courage to do this. So they are about dimming your light and about something triggering you. So these are really powerful questions that will help you kind of determine or assess where the trauma was that caused you, that is at the root, that caused you to shut your heart down. So one of them says, who or what is triggering you? And the trigger is a mirror for you to help you get to the root of the situation that caused you to shut your heart down. So what triggers you? Notice what triggers you, right? What triggers you? And allow the answer to come up. Allow the answer to come up. And then you some of you might get that right away. It might be a work, something at work. It could be, it feels very much more like, if anything, it feels more like a work situation than a romantic love relationship situation. It feels more like you're getting triggered by somebody or something about work. That's just what it feels like to me. And that also kind of gets revealed in the extended reading a little bit. It feels more like it's about work. The other question is, how are you dimming your light in order to fit in? And they're saying, don't dim down to fit in. So in some way, there might be an area, if this resonates with you, there may be some situation in your life now where, without even realizing it, you're kind of just dimming down so that you fit in a little bit. You are powerful. You are powerful. Remember this. You know this. And you know it, because it could be that you're dimming down because you know it, and it might be upsetting some people. It might trigger others to not be so nice to you. And so it's not even just about fitting in, but it's also about protecting yourself. It's dimming down to protect yourself. So you just kind of, don't express your full self, your super creative ideas, for fear that it might offend somebody, or somebody might take it as a competition and it would make them feel bad, in which case then they would take it out on you, something like that. They're inviting you to just, let them do what they got to do. It's like you are being asked to do what you need to do and express your whole true self. Don't dim down. Yet it's where you're dimming down and really looking, if this resonates, if you are dimming down in some way. And it feels like some of you are going, oh yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I didn't realize I was doing that. Look at that. Like, close your eyes, kind of go within and listen to the answer of the core root situation where you decided to stay safe, that you would, sort of get smaller. You would dim down to stay safe. Find the root of that situation and have the courage to heal that. In other words, let that come up. You know, really look at it, feel into it. If it feels, you know, scary, just know that Spirit's with you, helping you to heal this. Once you do that, it feels like once you do that, and also as you do that, there might be layers to it. There could be layers to it. If you grew up in a challenging situation where you kind of decided, and you decided that it was wise as a child, it just doesn't serve you anymore. When you decided that, if you grew up in that situation, there may have been more than one incident where you dimmed down. There also be maybe more than one incident that triggers you. These could be the same root situation. It could be an abusive father, an abusive mother, an abusive aunt, uncle, you know, something. It could be some situation in general where both of these can be addressed at the same root, but it also could be different situations for each of these. A trigger might be one situation has a root somewhere when you were 7, and this could have a root, you know, when you were, as far as dimming down, this might be more something that happened in your teens. That's what they're saying. So so look at those. Once you have looked at those, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so intellectually, yep, there it is. And then maybe get back out into nature. Maybe get back out into nature to help you with Spirit there, helping you out in nature to, you know, go beyond the intellectual healing of it and into the deep healing of it, really, you know, processing that through your body to release. Stay committed, you know. Let this be a commitment to yourself that you're going to work through these. They're inviting you to really stay committed to working through these because it feels really, really profound. It will change your life. It feels like it will radically change your life because being closed down has not allowed love in. And when love can come in, it changes everything. I'm excited for you guys. I really hope that you'll do this. It will make so much difference in your life. So stay committed to going in and working through that. Stay positive because it does. It's really a profound shift for you to heal this, to open your heart back up. You can do it. You can handle it. You can handle it. Because with an open heart, you've got a lot more power. Look at the power of her to go, okay, you know what? Like, once your heart opens up and you're full of love, now you are much more whole, okay? Much more whole and able to look at her posture, how she's just like, okay, no more. I'm not doing that anymore. No more drama. No more drama. And this doesn't necessarily mean, you know, to quit the job, leave the relationship, walk away. Notice that she's not walking anywhere. She's standing strong and just saying no. It's like more like a boundary, situational boundary. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to tolerate that. That sort of thing. But she's standing strong. She's not walking away. So it's not as dramatic as detaching from drama, meaning to break up with somebody, quit the job. You know, it feels much more subtle than that. It's more subtle than that and kind of on a consistent, regular basis. Now that your heart is all filled up with love and whole and you remembering who you are, powerful, loving, and creative, and you're going to share your creativity and your love freely. And if anyone wants to create some drama in your world because of it, you're just like, no, I'm not doing that. No. And it doesn't mean that you can't walk away from a situation. It just doesn't have to be quitting the whole job. Does that make sense? You know, you can say something. You could, for example, say something like, that's not okay, or I can see that you're really angry, so I'm just going to step out. Maybe we can talk about it when you calm down. As simple as that. Detaching from drama. You know, letting it be easy. Let it be easy about that. And then the next two cards, your last two cards, are again from the work your light, you know, very kind of spiritual. And the question is, what is your soul calling you to do? Answer the call. You know, what is your soul calling you to do? This is coming up underneath opening your heart, and also underneath remembering who you are. By opening your heart, this remembrance gets very, very clear. And so at this point in the reading, they're going, okay, now we can go to the soul level. What is your soul calling you to do in your life? Right? It's like love in your heart changes everything. It just changes the whole fundamental foundation of your life. And so they're saying, okay, now tap into your soul as this powerful being that you are. Tap into your soul and answer the call. What does your soul really want to do now? Now that you can, with a big, full, open heart, full of love. Answer the call. And then your last card says, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking things and keep facing your true north. Keep doing what you know is right. Keep following your soul's purpose. This one is saying that you're already doing it. Part of that meaning that part of what they mean by you're doing it is the opening your heart. The opening your heart up. As a human species, we have closed our heart down from thousands of years of oppression, suppression. Many, like every human, has shut their heart down on some level. So if it's shut down, you know, this much, for some it's shut down this much, and with each, you know, opening and opening and opening, you're already doing it. You're opening your heart up. Just that next level of opening your heart is just going to change everything.